This is the round 5 preview of Collingwood's clash against Fremantle Friday night at the Adelaide Oval for Gather Round. 7:40 p.m. start, a 5:40 p.m. start for the dock workers in Western Australia, the boys in purple. I'm going to get straight into the recent history because our last loss, or the last time we played Freo, still sticks out for me like a sore thumb. We lead the overall head-to-head 23-15 with a controversial draw in 2024. Collingwood is 11 wins, 5 losses at the Adelaide Oval. More specifically, 3 wins, 0 losses in Gather Round. I think if you had a gather round ladder, we're fifth or sixth. We are one of 5 teams, I believe, undefeated in gather round. Fremantle, 5 wins, 12 losses at the Adelaide Oval, but they've won their last 2 games at the Adelaide Oval. They beat Port Adelaide by 6 points last year, and they've just beaten Adelaide by 2 points. But there are also 2 wins, 1 loss in gather rounds. They beat Gold Coast by 10 points in Norwood 2023, lost by 10 points in controversial fashion against Carlton at the Adelaide Oval, and they beat Richmond by 10 plus goals in the Barossa Valley, I think it was, and one of those outer venues. Something that Collingwood isn't accustomed to. We just play at the Adelaide Oval. Collingwood has not scored above 100 points in their past 13 games. The last time we did this was against Carlton last year. The last time we scored above 90 was against Richmond last year. So we are not scoring. We don't have any firepower at the moment, and it's hurting us right now. We are just not a comfortable watch at the moment. Freo, they haven't scored above 100 against us in the past 14 clashes. It's forever ago, and I say this now because I'll probably jinx it. But the last time we played Freo, we lost by a point, 11-12, 78 to 12-7, 79. It sticks out like a sore thumb for me. Patrick Voss kicked 6 goals, and he could have kicked 7. Could have kicked 8, to be honest. Up by 20 plus points early final quarter. Jamie Elliott misses a set shot. Freo get us on the counter attack. They scramble it in the midfield. Ed Allen runs past it. Freo gather it. And a bullshit shot towards goal. A random bounce goes past 2 Collingwood defenders, and they keep themselves in the game. And they beat us by a point. And it really pisses me off still. We had 20 inside 50s in that third quarter for 1 goal, 2. Yeah, I am expecting someone from Fremantle, a random player, or maybe someone that's due for a legacy game, if you will, and it will probably come from a Freo player. But Fremantle, they're one of the most underrated sides in the competition. They're 3 wins, 1 loss. We're 2 wins, 2 losses. Freo's in the top 6. We're just hanging on the 10th spot at the moment. So this is technically, I wouldn't say it's an 8-point game, but Freo win this game. They can get separation and breathing space in the top 6. For Collingwood, we win. We keep ourselves in wildcard purgatory. We lose this game. We fall out of the top 10. And who knows from there? We do have a semi-decent fixture, if you will, but it's against Carlton and Essendon. And you know they will turn up against us. So massive game against Fremantle. Just on the injury list, Scott Pendlebury, Nick Dacos, they're all a test. Main training session on Wednesday. Darcy Moore remains out for 3 to 4 weeks. I expect him to be out for the entire month of April. Who knows with our early May clash against Geelong. And still no timeline on Demartia. I was hoping for a timeline on Demartia. Why is there no update or time frame on Demartia? But I guess when it comes to selection speculation, Nick Dacos, Scott Pendlebury, they're expected to come in if they're deemed fit and firing for this game. And I've said in my VFL reports, Angus Anderson is probably not due, but he's earned a call up and he's earned a debut. But who goes out? It looks pretty straightforward with Lockie Sullivan, Will Hayes, Ed Allen being the ins from last week. But certain players would have to be a watch. Someone like Ned Long, who's not showing a lot in the midfield right now. Lipinski's not showing much at all. Rowan Steele could be a scapegoat. I don't want to see Rowan Steele dropped. And then you could make a selection statement, but I don't think it's going to happen. Jack Crisp, for example, would be a statement because his consecutive game streak would come to an end. But I'm not going to call for their heads. I mean, guys like Crisp and Sidebottom had good games against the Giants. Then they had a bit of a stinker against the Lions. I mean, we all had a stinker. Everyone had a stinker. I had a stinker. You had a stinker. We all had a stinker against Brisbane. It could have been a whole lot worse. But I guess for me, if I was the coach, Nick Dacos, Scott Pendlebury comes in and Angus Anderson makes his debut. It makes sense. Angus Anderson playing 3 years in the SANFL, best on ground in the SANFL grand final last year. The reason why he was drafted by Collingwood. So sentimental value right there to debut in Gather Round, playing in South Australia at the venue where you made a name for yourself. And who goes out? I'll play it safe. Ed Allen, Lockie Sullivan, Will Hayes. They didn't do anything wrong, those three, but they're in the bottom six. So just to be safe, they'll go out. Someone like Will Parker, I don't think did enough in the VFL to warrant selection, but so did Sullivan and Hayes. They got called up. So who knows at this point? You could call up Charlie West and Jack Buller if you want to swap around the key forwards. But again, Membry kicks 4 goals against the Giants. McStay kicks 4 goals against Brisbane. Jamie Elliott needs form. He needs to be kicking goals and 3+ goals and needs a bag. He's due for it. I wouldn't drop Jamie Elliott, but he's a watch at the moment. Darcy Cameron's a watch. His hitouts to advantage are not existent right now. Not offering a lot with the new ruck rules, and even around stoppages, not offering a lot. So yeah, a lot of selection, speculation, and player matchups and movements and what to do with the magnets. Yeah, it's all a watch. We are the team that's under the pump. Freo's flying at the moment, 3 games in a row. They've won, and they're winning games at a venue that doesn't or isn't too kind to them. So yeah, they're on the road. They've just beaten Adelaide, and they've got a chance to beat us and then head home. The big speculation is an old friend currently at Fremantle, Mason Cox. Uh, his waffle form, his preseason form for them could warrant selection. If they want to bring in extra height and replace Darcy for Mason Cox, or they want to drop or rest a key forward to bring Mason Cox in, talk about sentimental value right there. Mason Cox, first game for Freo up against his old side. Watch all the neutrals suddenly support Mason Cox to piss me off. But as stated in the title of this video, possibly an old friend. We've got old scars, old foes up against Freo. I mean, the last 2 times we played Freo, such a weird one. Freo dominated, but they lost. We dominated last time at the MCG, but we lost. So, yeah, even ledger, but just weird games. Freo should have won the home game. We should have won the home game. So we both won the away clashes. Yeah, it is what it is. It's a weird side, this Freo team. And just with the compare the pair, Freo, they average nearly 100 points a game. We average just under 80 points a game. I won't go through each line of stats, but it is a bit damning at some of these compare the pair stats. Freo concede under 75 points a game, and we concede over 80 points a game. We rely on our back line a lot more compared to Freo. Contested possessions minus 34 differential. Yeah, we gotta we got to clear the gap. We got to close the gap, to be exact. Got to get the words out. Hitouts, I'm including for the first time, minus 17. Darcy Cameron, Oscar Steen up against Luke Jackson and Sean Darcy, possibly Mason Cox as well if he's involved. So, yeah, we have to improve in the midfield clearly. Minus 10 in clearances, minus 9.2 in stoppage clearances, minus 10 in tackles. We haven't provided a lot of pressure this year compared to last year. Minus 7.5 inside 50 entries. We are dominating the marks compared to Freo, but we are turning it over a lot more. Efficiency inside 50, minus 17% differential. That is shocking. We need to improve on that. And minus 12 in shot efficiency. So basically, when Freo gets inside 50, they convert, they score, whether it's a goal or a point. They are inaccurate in front of goals. That's another weakness for Freo. I mean, they are due for a big, accurate scoring game. So bring this up now and I'll jinx it. So that's just the way it goes. But just with the keys to victory, I'm going to say the keys to victory from last week. Expose Brisbane's defence. We didn't do that. Match Brisbane for clearances. Wasn't even close. A fast start and switched on from the jump. We weren't that at all. And cut off all avenues to goal. We didn't do that at all. So yeah, that was our keys to victory against Brisbane. The keys to victory against Freo, though, the ruck battle. Darcy Cameron drew a watch. Oscar Steen up against Luke Jackson and Sean Darcy. Maybe Mason Cox, though, if he comes in. Yeah, their hitouts to advantage. Luke Jackson is a glorified midfielder at times, and he's bloody good at it. So we have to look out for that, particularly around stoppages. I'll be watching that very closely. So if Luke Jackson's scoring goals from stoppages, or if he breaks through, I'll be watching that like a hawk. Who is not accountable for Luke Jackson? I'll be watching that. Second key to victory for us, do not get overpowered or overawed by Freo's attack. And for us to be in defence, we need to hold up firmly. Billy Frampton up against Josh Tracy, Jai Amos, and Patrick Voss. Yeah, Voss, career best game last year against us. Tracy is unreal. and Jai Amos is looking to get back into form. Jeremy Howe will likely play on one of those three, trying to get through these games unscathed. And then you got Maynard or Quaynor playing undersized yet again, unless we call up Joel Cochran. Starting to think it won't happen, but who bloody knows at this point. Third key to victory, be more direct inside 50. We didn't utilise the corridor as much against Brisbane, but in the final quarter, a couple of our goals were us being direct inside 50 and finding Dan McStay in contested marks. So it can work. We were more direct against the Giants. It worked and won us the game. And Frio's backline is due to be under the pump, not just a third quarter blitz by the Crows last week against them. It needs to be 4 quarters, put them under the pump, under pressure, be more direct. They're all interceptors. They need to be accountable for our man, or for our forward line, our man to be exact. So that's a massive opportunity there. Be more direct inside 50, apply the pressure inside 50 and around the ground as well. And that's the final key to victory. Pressure, pressure, fucking pressure, not just in the forward line, but defensive stoppages, centre ball ups. My goodness, go watch that. You want to see us being exposed up against the best midfield in the competition. It was damning vision. So I'll be watching the centre ball ups like a hawk, like a magpie, like whatever bird. Just holding them accountable, pressure around the ground, pressure acts, tackling pressure, forward 50 tackles, you name it. Put Freo under the pump. Just give a fuck. Show a bit of backbone. Show some heart. We can't have 2 shit games back to back while on the road. It's gather round. We are undefeated in gather round. We've got 3 different scalps. I'm hoping for a 4th scalp in Freo, a side who doesn't play Adelaide Oval very well, despite winning their last 2 games. But if there's a team selections final word video, I will discuss the matchups a little bit more in depth. I've basically covered the team analysis and whatnot. Not the best, I know, but forgive me. 5th day of uploading videos. I'm a little bit burnt out and fatigued, not because of this, but just life in general. Long weekends and no respite at work. Forgive me. But hopefully the audio is much better. I'll leave you guys all to it. Give your thoughts on Gather Round, our game, our matchup against Freo. Are you concerned? Are you worried? Are you confident? Are you anything? Are you feeling anything for this game? It's 2-2 right now, but yeah, it could be a lot worse. Just perspective. But I'll leave you guys all to it. I hope you guys have a good week. Please be well. Please be safe. And I'll see you guys in the next one, whenever that is. Up the pies.